Hey, what's up, you guys? I created this Beyonce inspired makeup look. So if you want to know how I got it, keep watching. Oh, yeah. And by the way, don't try to come for me in the comments about my struggle wig. It works for the look that I'm going for. I am filling in my brows using Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in the shade Chocolate, and I'm cleaning them up using the Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer in the shade Deep. And I'm also putting that on my eyelids because that's going to serve as my eyeshadow base for today. So now I'm going to take my Cover FX matte setting powder, and this is in the shade Medium, and I'm going to put that all over my lid. So going into my Sephora Pro palette, and I believe it's the Editorial one, and I'm taking this light gold shade, and I'm taking a small dome brush and I'm packing that underneath the arch of my eyebrow, and then I'm just blending out those edges. So now I'm going to take this brown loose pigment, and I got it from TKB Trading, and the shade name is Brown Oxide. So what I'm doing is taking one of these e.l.f. crease brushes and I'm packing that into my crease. So now taking a clean brush, I'm going to use that to blend out these edges. And when I tell you I was blending for days, because I'm pretty much going to just keep repeating the same thing until it builds up on color. So once again, I'm packing more color into the crease and then going in with the other brush to blend out. And then I eventually drag that same color down to my actual eyelid. So now taking that dome brush that I used earlier to highlight underneath my brow, I'm just using whatever products left on it to blend out any harsh lines from the eyeshadow that I just applied. So now I'm taking my favorite mascara. I'm making sure that I get all the excess product off, because what that does is keep it from clumping up and messing up the eyeshadow that I just did. So it's going to be a clean application. Yeah, that was my boyfriend apparently coming to give me a kiss because I wasn't giving him enough attention at the time. He's so cute. So I put on a pair of dramatic lashes for this look. And since I didn't use any eyeliner or too many colors on my eyes, I really wanted them to pop and stand out. So from the primer I'm using this Pro Filter primer by Fenty Beauty, and I'm just putting a couple pumps on and rubbing that in. And for the foundation, I'm just using this Fenty Beauty foundation in the shade 350. So I used 3 pumps of foundation because I was going for a more full coverage application. And to apply it, I'm just using this Real Techniques buffing brush, and it really blends it in better to me than the beauty blender, because it doesn't soak up and shear out the product that much. So the application really does look airbrush once it's finished. So using this Fenty Beauty Matchstick in the shade Wheat, I'm going to go in and use that as a highlighting concealer. And I'm just going to take that same brush that I used for my foundation. I'm just going to use it to blend that out. And it's the same with the foundation. I feel like using brushes on these products from her line, they don't soak up the products as much as using the sponge. And don't get me wrong, yeah, I like to use the sponge with her products, but I discovered that I like to use the brush with them more recently. So that's what I've been doing. And so now for concealing, I'm going to use this Tarte Maracuja concealer under my eyes, but I'm only using the tiniest amount because the Fenty Beauty doesn't cover as much. It's more for highlighting in my opinion. So this Tarte concealer is just going to do the job that the Fenty Beauty concealers didn't do without being too heavy. So now going in with a matchstick in the shade Mocha, and I'm going to use this as a contour. And I like it because it's light without turning my face really muddy. So I'm just using this concealer brush from e.l.f. to blend out this contour on my nose because it gets right in those areas and it smooths the makeup out really nicely. And so going in with the same buffing brush that I use for my foundation and highlight, I'm just blending that out. I want everything to transition really nicely, so therefore I'm using the same brush because the makeup from my foundation that's still on there is going to help blend out that concealer to match my skin a little better. going in with another e.l.f. brush, I'm tapping this Banana Powder underneath my eyes and any of the other places that I highlighted. And I like using this powder to set my highlighted areas because it's really finely milled, so once you put it on, it really smooths out the skin really nicely and it leaves your makeup looking really nice in the end. So now I'm just going in with this Bare Minerals powder, and it's in the shade Warmth. I believe it's a mineral veil, and I'm using that as a bronzer with this Real Techniques brush. And I'm using a small brush because I really want to concentrate on the areas that I apply it. And what this is going to do is bring that color back to your face without overdoing it, and that's why I'm using the smaller brush. And as far as using bronzer goes, I do like to bring it down my cheeks because I'm not really a blush girl, so I do prefer the bronzed cheeks versus blush. And now that I'm finished bronzing, I'm going to use this pressed foundation powder by Black Radiance, and I'm just going to bring my contour back to life because it did get lost a little bit in the bronze. So I'm just putting it right at the bottom of where I applied that bronzer, and it's just adding a little more dimension back to my face. And I'm going over that again with the blending brush that I use for my foundation. So using another loose pigment from TKB Trading and the shade 24 Karat Gold, and I'm using this as my highlighter because I didn't have a highlighter as gold as this one, and to be honest, it really reminds me of Rihanna's Kilowatt highlighter from the Fenty Beauty line. So I'm just adding that to the places that I highlighted earlier because I'm really going for a bronze golden goddess type of a look. So I'm putting on this brown lip liner from the Sephora collection, and I love this lip liner so much. I use it all the time, but I'm applying this now, and I'm going to use a e.l.f. eyeshadow brush just to blend that out because I really hate harsh lines when it comes to lip liner. And now I'm using this Wet n Wild lipstick, and I believe it came out 2 years ago for a Halloween collection, but it's really gold. Now I'm topping off that lipstick with a clear gloss from e.l.f. and it really does make the gold pop some. I decided to add some of the pigment that I use for my highlighter on my cheeks. I'm just putting some of that on my lips and rubbing it in, but it still was too gold for my liking, so I decided to add a little bit of a nude pink gloss on top of it to just dull the gold down a little bit and to add a little more shine. So to finish off the look, I'm taking that same brown pigment that I put on the eyelid, and I'm using that to smoke out my bottom lash line. The mascara that I used earlier, and I'm just going to apply that to my bottom line. And now, as the final step, I'm going to use this Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray to set my makeup. So thank you for watching this video. It was actually my first time doing an inspired look, and I had a lot of fun doing this. So if you like my content, please like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video.